What is up, guys? Arolf here, back again with another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Cull Obsidian. So let's get into it. Doing a size comparison, here is Cull Obsidian next to the other figures in this wave to complete him. Thanos and Proxima Midnight. Avengers from the New York battle and the Wakandan battle. For Cull Obsidian's accessories, he comes with a hammer, the hammer that we didn't get in the movie, because the one that we got in the movie was a axe, more of like a scythe axe type weapon. This is probably like the original concept on what he was originally going to use in the movie. It's nicely detailed, nicely sculpted, molded out of this gray plastic. It is hollow. It's missing some paint details. It doesn't have any paint details whatsoever. And yeah, just by dropping it, it is light. So yeah, you can put it onto his left hand here. Doesn't work with the right hand because the right hand's kind of a more relaxed hand. Now the problem that I have putting this onto the left hand here is it kind of like scrapes the plastic, which is quite unfortunate. So yeah, be careful on that when putting the hammer onto the left hand here. So yeah, this is what it looks like with the hammer on. So taking a close look at Cull Obsidian, starting off with the head sculpt. The head sculpt is perfect. I really like these the paint job that they gave in this figure in general. With the early concept, it kind of looks more of the comic version of Cull Obsidian, less so than the more kind of armored up version that we get in Infinity War. But the details on this figure is amazing. It's very tall as well. It's just the amount of detail that they put is it's phenomenal. I also really like some of the armor pieces here. Coloring is a bit off, but yeah, it's quite unfortunate. A little marbling here and there, but the sculpt is amazing. You can see it just pegs in right there on the front and the back. You can remove that if you like, and it reveals the hole here. The upper chest piece is made out of this soft rubbery plastic. I'll get into that later, but just looking at the detail here, these spikes in the arms, the kind of the scaling here, and moving over to the chest, the detail, and you could see, you could lift this little piece up and you could see that it is a rubber piece. I kind of like the ingenuity that they went, instead of sculpting a big hunk of plastic, they actually made it so they probably did this to save money. They just sculpted a plastic rubbery piece. They kind of probably casted it out of this rubbery piece, and then they applied it onto the a layer of plastic, the base plastic. I know that was getting too detailed, but yeah, it's just amazing. I can't say anything else about this figure. It's just great sculpt, great detail. There are some areas where the some weathering or some black wash could be used, but other than that, I have no problem with this figure. You can see the skirt here, perfect color. The silver, like they used a metallic silver, not a dull silver. It looks kind of dull in this camera, but it is a type of metallic silver. You can see these scales here on the calves here, little bits and pieces of armor there. It's kind of weird how they have the little like shin guards here on the left leg compared to the right, but yeah, you can see the toes here. See, kind of looks like dinosaur toes. You can see on the back, the heel, the feet. He does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet, and yeah, it's just amazing. For Cull Obsidian's articulation, starting off with the head sculpt here, it does rotate all the way around. It can look up that far, which is great. I do have a kind of a slight problem with the head articulation. It doesn't look down whatsoever. It looks like he's looking more forward, so it kind of shifts up or back, kind of shifts forward and back. The one that we see in the movie, his head is kind of shifting forward instead of shifting back. So we don't see that in the movie, but we see it shifting forward in the movie. I don't know. You just have to look at the movie again. I saw it 3 times. Okay, I'm just bragging. Arms do rotate all the way around. They go out that far. It does have a bicep swivel, which does rotate all the way around, so you want to be careful with this one if rotating it all the way around. It kind of scuffs up the chest here. Single jointed elbow right there. Arms do rotate all the way around. His wrist has a up and down motion right there, his left wrist for holding the hammer, and for his right hand it kind of moves forward and back, or in and out right there. So that's the range you can get right there. Now for his chest here, really like the chest articulation. You really do get lots of range with this, so it can bend forward that far, so you can look down even more, and you can bend back that far, so you can look up even more. It's on a ball joint, so you can get some motion here, so forward and back right there, down that much, and he does have the side-to-side movement as well, just rotating that. He does have a waist rotation, which is great, kind of unnecessary but great. His legs can kick forward that far, moving the skirt up as far as I can. That's how far he could move forward, or kick forward, so he could sit down. Back, not that much. Upper thigh swivel right there. Double jointed knees, perfect. It's not stiff whatsoever, it's kind of in the middle. So his feet here, they bend down forward that far, or they bend down that far and point up that much. Not that far up, but yeah. He does have the ankle pivot, and doing the ankle pivot test. Wow, look at that split right there. It's pretty far. It's kind of tricky since he's a more heftier figure, but he's good to go. So taking an even closer look at Cull Obsidian, starting off by decapitating that beautiful head sculpt here. You can see that rubber piece kind of covers up the upper part of the neck here, so yeah, it's a nice attention to detail. For the rubber pieces, the rubber piece is covering his upper torso all the way up to his neck. I don't know how long this will last, because some rubber materials on action figures, the rubber tends to crack, and sometimes the paint kind of fades away. So we'll see like in the future ahead how this rubber will hold, because I'm a bit cautious on that. So yeah. And you can see me demonstrating the shifting head. It kind of moves in a diagonal pattern here. So yeah, you can see the armor pieces right there. It doesn't get hindered that much because his arms don't rotate, or doesn't go out that far, because it's hindered by the spikes on his shoulders. But as mentioned before, by rotating the bicep, you could scrape or damage the rubber piece, so you want to be careful on that. It can rotate all the way around, like I said, but just be careful. You can see how tough it is to rotate that bicep all the way around. Some armor pieces here just have a peg. It's just pegged into the arm here with and just glued on there. And his chest here, really nice range you can get with that. It's really smooth. It's not even stiff or loose. It's just it's smooth. I don't know if it's this. I don't know. It's just, I like it. So yeah, you can see some details back there. Moving or putting back on the shoulder piece, the armor just pegs on pretty easily. You can see you can make it rest onto his shoulder here, or lift it up like so. That's how far you can get with the range you can get with that shoulder piece. You can see the pegs here, just a soft rubbery plastic. It's a little stiff. I don't know how that will hold over time, but yeah, for now it works. Right there. Having trouble. So yeah. Moving down. See a skirt piece. Looking at the undercarriage and behind. Kind of a soft plastic underneath, because this thing needs to move around. They can't sculpt everything, so I understand why they went with that approach. Soft rubbery bits on these gray parts right there, and the legs that continued scaling throughout. Inner thigh, knees, the hinges right there on the knees, pretty basic. There's no sculpting inside the hinges, but that's okay, it's understandable. And some of the armor pieces, it's kind of loose here. I don't know if this is supposed to be glued on, but there is a long strip of glue going down the middle to glue this the shin guard piece, and the back armor piece right here is just glued on as well. As shown before, the peg holes at the bottom of the feet. The feet have kind of a weird sculpt. It doesn't have a lot of surface area, so I do have trouble standing him up, but other than that, he is a perfectly fine figure. So yeah, that is it guys. Hope you guys liked it. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell, turn on notifications, because there are like a couple of videos coming. I don't know. After just completing this wave, there are more waves from Hasbro to come. I'm not interested in most of them. I'm kind of interested in the Deadpool wave, but that's coming out later, somewhere around summertime. We still got the Marvel Studios 10 years coming out, so I can't wait to review that. I got the Thor 3-pack coming in soon, hopefully by the end of next week. I should have that review up. Overall, I really do like this Build-A-Figure. Probably one of my favorite Build-A-Figures because of the sculpt and the articulation. Understandable, that single jointed elbow thing right there. Other than the surface area of the feet, kind of having trouble standing him up, I'm also concerned about how the rubber will hold over time. But I really do like this Build-A-Figure. Great sculpt and articulation. Just not updated that we saw like in the movie. But yeah, that is it guys. Hope you guys like it. Arolf more signing out. Peace.